Aloha, I wanted to give you a brief overview or introduction to using JSFiddle. Um, JSFiddle is a simple browser-based environment that allows you to create little snippets of JavaScript and save them in the cloud, and then have a URL which enables other people to retrieve what you've written. That's useful for us at the beginning of class because we haven't introduced our IDE yet, so we don't have a local editor, and we haven't introduced GitHub yet, so we don't have a cloud-based storage mechanism. So JSFiddle is kind of our bootstrapping way for you to get started right away writing JavaScript code, seeing what it does, and then enabling me and the TA to kind of see what you've done without having to like send us, emails with attachments, which is, just crazy. Okay, so here is jsfiddle.net, and the first thing you need to do is sign in. So if you click the sign in link, you may have to sign up if you've never done it before, but I have, so I'm going to use my password manager to log in. And then you get in and it looks like this. You see I have a bunch of fiddles. And what I'm going to do is click on this link to create a new fiddle. Okay? And I get something that looks like this. All right, and what I wanted to kind of show you, you have these top level things to run and so forth, but the first thing to kind of note is that there are these little, these are clickable things which enable you to do things like change the language between these various flavors of JavaScript, but we'll stay with JavaScript 1.6, which is the default. They've just released JavaScript 1.7, so if you wanted to try something out in there, you can select it there. And then, if you wanted to load a library, you click on that link, and there's all sorts of popular libraries that you can load if you wanted to play with it. We're not going to play with it. We just want to have pure JavaScript. The onload thing is fine for now because we're not going to actually be writing HTML and CSS and so forth. We just want to write pure JavaScript. So the way that we're going to communicate, there's a couple things we could do. We could create HTML and use the DOM to write out a value to a certain DOM element, and then it would just be displayed in a page, but that's crazy. Look, the way that we're going to communicate results at this point in the class is simply by writing things out to the console. So we can have something like that, and in order to see the console, we have to bring it up, and so to do that, you can go to, if you're running Chrome, which you must for this class, you can go to this and you can see Option Propeller J brings it up, which is what I normally do, but I just was showing you could get it there from the menu item. So if we click this Run, okay, or much easier than that, click Control Return. Okay, that's again what I do mostly. So I'm going to click Control Return to actually run this piece of code, and now you can see that 2 appears in the console, okay, indicating that things work. Let's do something a little more, just for grins. Let's do something a little more fun. Let's create a function that will itself create a function. Okay, well, I've talked about this in the previous screencast, but I think it's kind of a cool idea. We're going to make a function that returns a function that increments the value passed to it by whatever value we passed in the original one. So you'll see how this works. So we're going to say function make inc. We're going to return indent by 2 spaces, and we're going to return a function that takes a value and itself returns val plus incval. Okay. So what does this mean? It means that we can now say let, or maybe better const inc2 is a function, and that we're going to define it by calling make inc with 2. Okay? We don't have any console logs, so we're not going to see anything if we we can do Control Enter, but actually we get this line executed again, so let's just get rid of that. So now we've created, inc2 is now a function that increments whatever value it's been passed it is passed with 2. Okay, so let's now do a console.log where we invoke inc2 with 3. Okay, so what do you think the console is going to print out? Right? Well, it's probably going to print out 5 because our inc2 function is a function that we created by calling the makeInc function, passing it the value 2, which is the inc val. So let's try that. Control Enter. 5. Awesome. We could now say const inc10 equals makeInc, and what are we going to do? Pass it 10, of course. And then if we say, if we get rid of this guy, and we say console.log inc10 with 100, or what the heck, let's get crazy, 1000, okay? And we do Control Enter, 1010. We've incremented our value by 10. All right, so so that's what. So now we've created. Maybe that was our assignment. Create a function called makeInc and so forth. So the next thing you want to do is you click this Save button. The Save button now saves in the cloud in your account, Philip M. Johnson in my case, a fiddle with this URL. Okay, that other people can retrieve. So if I do propeller copy, and then I create an incognito window, so I'm not logged in anymore, and I paste it in, and I hit return, okay, now I can see, or anybody who has that URL can see the code that I just wrote. Okay, and you can see I'm not logged in this particular one. So let's go back to where I was. So that's essentially, and then you can do things like you can, if you want to make a variant, you can fork it and you can make changes. So I could now say, oh, I want to, I don't know, call this with 2000, okay, and then I can click update, and that's basically now saved a new version, okay. So if I copy this entire URL and I open a window and I put that in, now I'm getting kind of the first update to that base thing, which now has 2000 rather than 1000. So that's how that worked. And then what we could do is if we click this set as base, let's just click it to see what happens. Okay, now that new updated version is actually the base version. Okay, so there's all sorts of stuff like that you can do. This is enough for everything you need to do for the class, basically bringing it up, logging in, writing your code, seeing what happens in the console, pressing save when you're finished, and then copying and pasting the URL and sending it off. That's all you need to know for JSFiddle. Nice little way to bootstrap. I hope you enjoy it. See you soon.